Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dylan Luss with the National Weather Service in Atlanta, Peachtree City, Georgia, and this will be your weekly weather briefing for the week starting June 6th, 2024. A couple of highlights to get us started here. We've got some showers and a few thunderstorms possible today as we've got a cold front that's moving through the area. Generally speaking, the rainfall amounts with these are going to be light unless you end up under a thunderstorm, in which case you could get a little bit more than just light rainfall. Severe thunderstorms are not anticipated, but it's June, it's Georgia. We can't really rule out a strong storm or two, especially down in central Georgia today. It's going to be dry until Sunday, in which case we'll have another cold front that's going to approach North Georgia. There are going to be some rain and thunderstorm chances that will persist into early next week as a result of that. There's some uncertainty after this, but we do think the moist air is going to return by the middle to end of next week, and our rain chances will continue to pick back up because, after all, once again, it is summer in Georgia. So looking at our current conditions, here is the current radar map across the area, at least across the southeast. You can see we've got some light showers that are lingering around portions of the metro in Atlanta, as well as Columbus and pushing to the east. This is all part of an initial cold front that kind of moved through the area this morning. With that, we've got cloudy skies in most locations, but we have had a little bit of sunlight that has been able to peek through. And so because of that, we may be able to warm up enough that we could see some very isolated afternoon thunderstorms that do develop, with the biggest chances being down in portions of central Georgia where this initial cold front is located. Because of this cloud cover and because of some of the rainfall, our current temperatures are in the 70s and 80s, but places that have seen a little bit more sunlight, you're starting to probably get into the mid to upper 80s, depending on where you're at. So today's high temperatures, you can see down in portions of central Georgia where we're expecting a little bit more sunlight to peek through. We'll get all the way up into the 90s, but in places where we have seen some rainfall or some additional cloud cover, we're only expecting to get into, say, the mid to upper 80s. With our chances of precip, we're kind of highlighting, as you can see here, places where rain has already been falling or is currently falling with the highest precip chances. Everywhere else, we basically have that kind of isolated to scattered chances of precipitation, just depending on if we can get enough sunlight to come through and help develop a couple of things for us this afternoon. But this is kind of uncertain if that cloud cover kind of lingers a bit longer. As it has kind of been doing, we may not see much in the way of redevelopment this afternoon of thunderstorms, which would be great. Looking at tomorrow, that cold front swings on through, and if you look at our precip chances, we have absolutely nothing in there. It looks like it's going to be pretty dry because we're going to have some pretty dry air that's going to be filtering into the area, which is going to be nice. We're finally going to kind of get rid of that air you can wear, so to speak, that we've had the past couple of days. It should be a lot more pleasant outside, even if it is still a bit warm. We should have some ample sunshine, so up in North Georgia, I mean, it's hard to complain about low 80s to, you can even see up in the mountains, some 70s up there. It's hard to complain about that during June, but down in central Georgia, we'll have a little bit, more sunshine, and the cold front won't have pushed through as far. We're still going to get into the 90s, but it like I said before, it should be a bit drier, so it shouldn't be as oppressive as it has been the past couple of days in terms of the humidity. Going into the weekend, cold front still remains to the south of us on Saturday, so we'll have kind of high pressure that remains overhead and lower moisture down towards the surface. So put that all together, pretty much no rain chances on Saturday. It should be another great day. Going into Sunday, we do have another weather system, and specifically front, that's going to kind of approach the area from the northwest. We also should, because of that, see basically, the Gulf moisture is never too far away, so we should see a return of some of that moisture into the area that will allow for those rain chances to start ticking back up as the system moves into the area. Going into Monday and Tuesday, that system swings on through on Monday, so we have rain chances that'll kind of linger as a result of that. And then going into Tuesday, there is a little bit of uncertainty as to how far through our area that system will actually move. And so if it were to stall a bit further north, we could see some lingering precipitation chances as a result of that. So that's why we have a little bit of lingering precip on Tuesday, even though we're well behind that cold front that you see there. Looking for looking at our temperatures through the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday and Saturday, we're going to be pretty pleasant. It'll be warm, but it'll be pretty pleasant with highs in the 80s and lower 90s. Sunday, as we have like Gulf moisture kind of surging ahead of that system that's potentially going to move into the area. Areas in North Georgia, your temperatures are a bit lower because you'll likely have cloud cover and rainfall starting potentially in the morning going into the afternoon. Down in Central Georgia, however, you can see we get pretty warm down there. These are going to be potentially, I think, some of the warmest temperatures that we've seen so far, at least this summer. And so we've got highs reaching into the middle 90s there. There also will be moisture coming back in with dew points. Our current forecast dew points, I believe, are in the 60s or close to it, close to 60. So put that together, there'll be some pretty good heat indexes down there. So just definitely take it easy if you're planning on doing anything outdoors on Sunday in those locations. Looking forward Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday, temperatures become much more seasonable. We return to basically those lower to middle 80s with a couple of 90s starting to creep back into parts of Central Georgia. This is pretty seasonable. This is about what we would expect for June. This is also going to be heavily modulated by how far that cold front moves through us on Monday, as well as how much cloud cover or any lingering precipitation that we have. Looking at basically our rain chances through the whole next week at just some like specific locations that I've chosen here. You can kind of pick your favorite corner of the state, so to speak. But as we stated before, Friday and Saturday, it looks dry. But going into Sunday, Monday, we have a cold front that begins to approach the area, that next weather system. So our rain chances will kind of tick up a little bit. But I do want to emphasize, you can see here that most of these rain chances remain relatively low. While we will have moisture returning to the area, the amount of moisture that's going to be able to come back may be a little bit more limited just because we've had that cold front move through today into tomorrow. So that may act to limit our overall rain chances in the end. So right now you can see the highest we have generally is like 40 to 30%, somewhere in there in a lot of locations. So definitely stay tuned. That may change as we get a little bit more certainty around how much or how potent this system potentially can be. But right now it looks like it'll be mostly isolated to scattered chances of rain starting Sunday into Monday and then going forward from there. Looking at our climate outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, because we have these kind of series of cold fronts it's going to be swinging through, as well as precip chances and things like that, that actually keeps us, at least in terms of June, relatively cooler overall, and the CPC is forecasting decent chances of us being basically below average temperatures for this time of year. Once again, it's June, so below average temperatures may mean something more akin to like low 80s or mid 80s, rather than the upper 80s and 90s that we may start to see this time of year. Looking at precip chances will generally be anywhere from near normal to there's a slight chance of being below normal for our precip chances. And once again, that's going to be driven by if that cold front makes it through, how far it makes it through, and things like that, because we'll have a drier air mass that will be in place behind that cold front. Now, the last thing that I do want to talk about is a little bit of a tropical update. Here's the 7-day NHC outlook, and as you can see, at least right now for the National Hurricane Center, they have no tropical cyclone activity expected over the next 7 days. The biggest reason I wanted to talk about this is we do have a couple of models that have been showing towards the end of next week a disturbance moving into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, I want to point out the basically model runs that we do with these things, they have not been consistent with this feature in terms of showing it actually develop into anything that would be tropical in nature. It also, when it does development, where it puts it or anything like that is really in flux. We've seen anything from all the way over in Texas to all the way over in Florida. So the reason I want to mention this all is at the end of the day, please just kind of stay tuned to trusted sources with this sort of stuff. don't believe, any social media posts that you see that have just that one single like doomsday run of one model or something like that. We are in tropical season. It is possible for it to happen, so you definitely need to stay aware. And we highly recommend that you stay in touch with like the National Hurricane Center's web pages and things like that. But do know that it's possible that these models will output these sorts of things this time of year. Wait until you start to see information from more trusted sources before you start to get concerned about it. So that's all I've got for today. Here's just kind of a quick overview again of the same highlights we showed at the beginning. We've got showers and a few thunderstorms possible today with that cold front. We're not expecting any severe weather with this. It's summer in Georgia, though. We can't rule out a strong storm or two with anything that does develop. We're expecting to be dry until Sunday. We'll have another weather system that's going to approach the area, and so that will help rain and thunderstorm chances persistent early next week. And then we do have a little bit of uncertainty after this, but our moist air should return by the middle to end of next week. So that concludes our weekly weather briefing. Thank you so much. Here's our contact information. Do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions or need any additional information. Thank you so much.